Good evening. This is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. I'm a little bit earlier today, but not much. I'm going to start out with a couple of World War II recipes yet, and then we'll go into our basic cooking terms and so forth. So the first one we got is peas and carrots croquettes. Remember, they had the Victory Garden. They had most of the vegetables available. 1 cup of mashed cooked carrots. 1 cup of cooked peas. You know, I think we could do these with our canned goods too, even if we don't have a garden. Okay? 1 teaspoon of minced parsley. 1 cup of white sauce. 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Salt and pepper to taste. Breadcrumbs, and 1 egg beaten. Combine the carrot, the peas, the parsley, white sauce, and the butter. Be careful not to crush the peas. Or cooked peas, okay? Season, cool, and shape into croquettes. Roll into the breadcrumbs, and in the eggs, and again in breadcrumbs. Fry in hot, deep fat, 3 to 5 minutes. Drain, and you have 6 croquettes. A white sauce is just simply milk, butter, and flour to whatever dimensions you want. I usually use as a white sauce, a big one. This one would probably only use one cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of butter. You melt it, then you put 1 tablespoon of flour in it, and you mix it around and cook it until the flour taste is out, the raw taste. Then you add your milk, stirring constantly until it gets thickened. That would probably be the sauce you use on this one, or the thickness you use on this one. You can also do 2 cups of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and you can go. The one I use most, especially for gravy, is 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 cups of milk, and 3 tablespoons of flour. So anyway, that's your basic white sauce. The next one, turkey and chicken croquettes. 3 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup of milk. There's your white sauce. 1½ cups of cooked turkey or chicken, 1/4 teaspoon celery salt, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, 1 teaspoon minced onion, 1 egg beaten, and breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon of chopped parsley. Melt the butter in a saucepan, add salt and the flour. Cook 1 minute to remove the raw flour taste. Gradually add milk, stirring constantly until the mixture thickens. Cool, combine the white sauce, the chicken, and seasonings. Shape and roll into fine breadcrumbs, then into eggs, and finally back in the breadcrumbs again. There again, you fry in a hot, deep fat oil, 3 to 5 minutes, and you drain, and you have your 6 croquettes on that one. I think this is my last one. Salmon croquettes. 1 cup of hot mashed potatoes, 1 cup of flaked salmon, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, salt and pepper to taste, breadcrumbs, 1 egg beaten. Combine the potatoes and the salmon, season with salt and pepper and lemon juice. Shape, roll in the breadcrumbs, then roll in the breadcrumbs, then eggs, and then breadcrumbs again. Then you bake in your oil, fry in your oil for 3 to 5 minutes. You get 4 croquettes. That's it for the recipes. Now we'll go on to the rest of this stuff, okay? Continuing with our cooking terms and some hints from yesterday. It says using the correct measuring utensil for ingredients is another secret to success. Don't interchange liquid measuring cups for dry cups. Liquid measuring cups can hold up to 1, 2, or 3, or 4 cups of liquid, and have markings printed on the outside of the cups. Dry measuring cups are stackable and come in increments of 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and 1 cup. Measuring spoons can be used for dry and liquid ingredients. For liquid ingredients, use a glass or clear plastic liquid measuring cup placed on a level surface. Bend down so your eye is level with the marking on the cup. For small amounts of liquid, 1 tablespoon or less, fill the appropriate measuring spoon to the top without letting it spill over. For dry ingredients, spoon the ingredient into the appropriate dry measuring cup or measuring spoon and level off the excess with the flat side of a knife or a spatula. Alright. Marinade. A liquid in which food is allowed to stand in order to flavor or tenderize it. Marinade refers to the process. Do not use a metal container. Do not marinate meat, poultry, or fish at room temperature for more than 30 minutes. Mash. To press or beat a food to remove lumps and make a smooth mixture. This can be done with a fork, a potato masher, food mill, food ricer, or an electric mixer. Measure to determine the quantity or size of the food and utensil. Melt to heat solid food such as chocolate, margarine, or butter over a very low heat until it becomes liquid or semi-liquid. Mix. To stir or beat 2 or more foods together until they are thoroughly combined. May be done by hand with a wooden spoon, a rotary beater, or an electric mixer. Moisten. To add enough liquid or to a dry ingredient or mixture to make it damp but not runny. Mull. To slowly heat a beverage such as red wine or cider with spices and sugar. Oven fry, we saw that. Pan broil. To cook a food, especially a meat, in a skillet without any added fat, removing any fat as it accumulates. Pare. To cut off the skin or the outer covering of a fruit or a vegetable using a small knife or a vegetable peeler. Partially set. A phrase that describes a gelatin mixture that is chilled until it is the consistency of unbeaten egg whites. Fruits and vegetables or nuts are added at this stage so they will stay evenly distributed and not sink to the bottom or float to the top. Pectin, a natural substance found in some fruit to make fruit and sugar mixture used in jelly or jam making setups. Commercial pectin is also available. That's your sugar. Peel. The skin and the outer covering of vegetable or fruit may also be called the rind. Also refers to removing the covering. Pipe. To force semi-soft food such as whipped cream, frosting, or mashed potatoes through a bag to decorate food. Pit. To remove the seed from the fruit of a piece of fruit. Plump. To allow foods such as raisins to soak in liquid. Poach. To cook a food by partially or completely submerging it in a simmering liquid. Pound. To strike a food with a heavy utensil to crush it, or in a case of meat and poultry, to break up the connective tissues in order to tenderize or flatten it. Pre-cook. To partially or completely cook a food before using it in a recipe. Preheat. To heat an oven or utensil to a specific temperature before using it. Process. To preserve food at home by canning, or to prepare food in a food processor. Proof. To allow a yeast dough to rise before baking. Also a term that indicates the amount of liquid in a distilled liquor, like alcohol, and a distilled liquid. Hooray! To change a solid into a liquid or a heavy paste, usually by using a blender, food processor, or food mill, also refers to the resulting mixture. Reconstitute, to bring forward a concentrated or condensed food such as frozen fruit juice to its original strength by adding water. Reduce, to rapidly boil liquids such as pans, juices, or sauces, so that some of the liquid evaporates, thickening the salt and concentrating the flavor. Now we're going rind. The skin or outer coating, usually rather thick, of a watermelon, bacon, cheese, and citrus fruit. Okay, I never thought of it on bacon, but okay. Roast, a large piece of meat or poultry. Also a dry heat cooking method used for meat, poultry, and vegetables, in which the food is cooked and covered in a bacon or over a fire. Roux, a French term that refers to a mixture of flour and fat cooked to a golden or rich brown color and used for thickening in sauces, soups, and gumbos. Sachet, to cook or brown food in a small amount of hot fat. Scald, to heat a liquid, often milk, to a temperature just below the boiling point, when tiny bubbles just begin to appear around the edges of the liquid. 4. To cut narrow grooves or slits partway through the outer surface of the liquid, to tenderize it or to form a decorative pattern. Scrape, to use a sharp or blunt instrument to rub the outer coating from a food such as carrots. Shear, to brown a food, especially meat, quickly on all sides using high heat to seal in the juices. May be done in the oven or on top of the range. Section, a pulpy segment of citrus fruits that has the membrane removed. Also the process of removing the segment. Use a sharp paring knife to remove the peel and white rind. Working over a bowl to catch the juice, cut into the center of the fruit between a section and the membrane. Turn the knife and slide it along the other side of the membrane, the other side of the section, next to the membrane, cutting out further. Shred, to push food across the shredding surface to make long, narrow strips or very thin strips. Finally shred. A food processor may also be used. Lettuce and cabbage may be shredded by thinly slicing them. Shuck, to remove the shells from seafood, such as oysters and clams, or the husk from corn. Sieve, a small, circular utensil with wire mesh or tiny holes through which food is passed. Foods are put through a sieve to separate small particles, such as removing the seed from the pureed berries, to separate liquids from solids, and to puree food. Also refers to the process of passing the food through the utensil. Sift, to put one or more dry ingredients, especially flour or powdered sugar, through a sifter or sieve to remove lumps and incorporate air. Simmer, to cook a food in liquid that is kept just below the boiling point. A few bubbles will form slowly and burst just before they reach the surface. Skim, to remove a substance such as fat or foam from the surface of a liquid. Slice, a flat, usually thin piece of food, cut from a larger piece. Also the process of cutting flat, thin pieces. Snip, this is not working. Snip broiler, to cut food, often fresh herbs and dried fruit, with your kitchen shears or scissors into very small uniform pieces, using short, quick throat. My mouth isn't working today, okay? Steam, to cook a food in a vapor given off by boiling water. Seep, to allow a food such as tea to stand in water that is just below the boiling point in order to extract flavor or tea or color. Stew, to cook food in a liquid for a long time until tendered, usually in a covered pot. Also, the mixture is prepared this way. Stir, to mix ingredients with a spoon or other utensil to combine them, or to prevent them from sticking during cooking, or to cool them after cooking. Stir fry, an oriental method of quick cooking. Small pieces of food in a little hot oil in a wok over high heat or stirring constantly. Stock, the thin, clear liquid in which the food, the bones of meat, poultry, or fish, are similar with vegetables and herbs, usually richer and more concentrated than broth. Gels when cool. Toast, a piece of dried bread. Also the process of heating nuts, seeds, and coconut in the oven and on the range top until they're slightly brown to enhance their flavor. Toss, to mix ingredients lightly by lifting and dropping them using two utensils. Whipping, a condition in which liquid separates out of a solid food, such as jelly, custard, and meringue. Whip, to beat the food slightly and rapidly using a wire whisk, rotary beater, or electric mixture to incorporate air into the mixture and increase its volume. Zest, the colored outer portion of the citrus fruit peel. It is rich in fruit oils and often used for a seasoning. To remove, use a grater, fruit zester, or vegetable peeler. Avoid the bitter white membrane beneath the peel. That's it for today. I have what they call a cooked cake, cooked bread, in the oven. Smelling good. We'll have it tomorrow. We'll cut it apart and see what it looks like. But it's just basically self-rising flour and a can of Coke. And you mix it all together and you put it in a pan. That's all it is. Just on the same basis as beer bread, where you add the beer and you have to do your self-rising flour, and that's it too. Okay, so we'll see how that turns out. So we're done for today, I think. Who knows what I'll come up with for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, we'll worry about that tomorrow, okay? You have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.